Like red, Boston College has the 5-6 off the line.
Yeah, it's 10 o'clock. Day 3 of the APS Team Racing Championship. And looks like BC a little bit slow to get started this morning. Navy with the early advantage.
More idyllic sailing conditions here on the St. Mary's River.
It's like summer camp. Every day we're just waking up,
Went for a little dip this morning.
How was the water today, Nick?
Water was glorious once again. Stingers aren't out yet. Quite nice. Cobwebs got
cleared
right away.
Clearing cobwebs. All right, good stuff. Navy definitely pushing Boston College hard here. Both those teams are in contention for the Final Four, so this could have big implications.
To be fair, we were talking last night, we haven't given Navy nearly enough credit. I mean, they just keep playing at the highest level at this regatta.
Yeah.
And
no love from us.
We made some promises that we're going to keep our focus on them for here a little bit. And you can see they're putting the hurt on Boston College right now.
They seem like a really pretty crisp team at this point. You can see a little bit of a pinning pass back on the far side there.
Yeah.
Or an attempt at that. Engaging on the far side. BC and red, though, they're creeping up on this port tack pair.
Yeah, that boat number 3. Get the rosters out.
Yeah. Who do we got sailing out there?
So do I close this to see it out of there? You should see that.
Advantage Navy right now for sure in the blue boats. 2, 3, 4 combo. Looks like we're in sequence down on the starting line. We'll get to that next race shortly here. That is Roger Williams and Yale is going to be next up. A little bit of a NISA battle. Of course, Roger Williams having a tough day yesterday, but Yale hasn't had a tough day yet. They're doing awesome. Looks like BC gets around the windward mark with the 1, but Navy with a solid 2, 3, 4 combo right behind that.
I said we were going to be looking at some of the beauty of the weave, and we'll be seeing that here right off the bat. Let's get on down to the starting line. We got black and yellow.
Yep, that's going to be Roger Williams in yellow, Yale in black. Yale, your regatta leader with only 1 loss so far this entire regatta. Looked like a scrappy pre-start there.
And once again, 3 most advantaged boats off the line. Not 1, not 2, all 3. Yale. Once again, just dominant off the line.
Yeah, I mean, I think my calculations are if they win 2 races, I'm not sure if they can even lose the regatta after that point. So they might go to the Final Four having already won the regatta, which would be quite an accomplishment. At that point, just go out there and sail for fun, I guess. Yeah, Yale looking very strong in black, leading all 3 pairs, I think.
Think a lot of people stayed home from work today to watch the coverage?
I bet you some people are watching at work. You know, just put it up on the old smartphone and leave that on the desk. The boss never has to know. Keep up to date with what happens throughout the day.
You can download the Livestream app.
Don't get fired, though. Be ashamed to get fired just because of team racing.
Yeah, sailors need jobs.
Yeah. Sailors need
Just
jobs.
open your work in another tab. Quick switch.
Yeah.
Yale leading up the first beat. Yale's comprised of Ian Barrows, Graham Landy, Chris Sagerblom at the helm. Their crews. I don't know who they normally have in. I know that Charlotte's in there, Charlotte Belling.
I'm not well versed either in who sails in what condition, but 5 fantastic crews there, including Marlena Fowler, who was the winning B Division skipper in the Sperry Topsider Women's College Sailing Championship last week. So she can clearly do it all.
What else?
She nearly carried her team to a national championship in that regatta by winning B Division convincingly.
What a weapon to have, someone like that on your team that can go both ways. And
No doubt. No doubt. Dominant here so far by Yale. 1-2-3 combo. So that's
if Yale
happening.
Keeps putting down these kinds of performances, they're not going to get any coverage today because the races are no fun to watch.
exactly.
How's that? When you say higher, do you mean open or closed? Okay.
If we get back to the red and the blue race, shall we check in with
I'm going there.
Navy and Boston College? BC in red, Navy in blue. It looks like Navy is still pushing the race forward, hanging on to a 2-3-4
Yeah, I think so.
on the bottom reach there.
We got Boston College on the high lane trying to get inside overlap, but I don't think it's going to happen. We'll see the last Navy boat take its time, push this out. Maybe even get a jibe in here. No, going to take it around port. Navy looking really strong here. Got caught a little down speed there. But great job from the midshipmen. Perfect setup of the weave here.
Yeah, nicely done. Nicely spread there. They have a bit of a cushion over BC. This would be a big win for Navy.
At the start?
All right, yeah, we should switch over to the start, I think, for the last race of this flight. Georgetown in orange, Tufts in green. They're about to get off the starting line.
Georgetown leading in almost everybody. Looks like we're going to get one more recycle out of the guys at the boat. That's usually Nevin Snow and Katia De Silva. As an individual boat, that's one that I always look at for Georgetown. They
Yeah,
definitely have a couple tricks up their sleeve.
heavy hitters in that boat. That is a heavy hitter team. Georgetown has also moved up the standings quite a bit in this Elite 8 round. They're definitely in the hunt for a Final Four bid.
We got an individual recall. Georgetown over early. All clear now.
Problem, dude. You keep breaking up. You need breaking in. It's just fading in and out. You're riding your house or something. No, didn't touch it.
We're on green and orange. That's Georgetown and the Jumbos of Tufts.
Now, if you're just checking in and you haven't been following the regatta, I would recommend going online, going to scores.collegesailing.org and looking at the overall results so you know what the team records are. What you'll see there is that the Yale Bulldogs have a firm grasp on this regatta so far with only one loss. But behind them are many, many teams who are very close together. And the next thing that's going to happen in the format is we're going to eliminate 4 of those teams and only the top 4 will go on. So it's going to be a total battle for that second, third, and fourth spot in the Final Four. All these teams, I think, still have a shot at it, but you got to be winning races, no doubt.
And all these teams want one more crack at Yale.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know,
No doubt.
They probably are starting to accept, perhaps. We'll see here how this round ends, but
They accept
you
nothing.
gotta think that they might be accepting a little.
Well,
But they want
subconsciously,
that one more crack at
I
them.
think subconsciously people are thinking it'd be great to get second at this regatta. Unless you're Yale and you're probably already thinking about, well, probably just thinking about how good at sailing you are, I guess.
Yeah.
Iris down?
Georgetown looking good here in orange.
How's that?
Although Tufts could finagle this into a play 2. But they need to stay up in the front of the race there. Georgetown could convert into a play 1.
Meanwhile, rounding Mark III, Yale 1-2-3 over Roger Williams. And going up the last beat, looks like Navy's gonna take the win over BC. BC has one more player up front, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. they've been in 5-6 the whole race, and Navy's going to put them away here.
Yeah, I think the most interesting race here is this Georgetown Tufts race in the orange and green. Coming upwind, kind of a broken up combination. Dare I say, it might be a 145, 236. Tufts is pushing for that 1-4.
Yeah, who's got the one? Who's got last? That's what we're looking at. Tough tack out of the back orange boat. Looked like the skipper didn't bring the main sheet with him as he crossed the boat.
Georgetown got a piece of him up in the 1-2 battle.
Ooh.
Tufts spinning a circle after a sharp luff from Georgetown, and that's going to give Georgetown Hoyas a 1-2.
Interesting.
You can see the Tufts boat, they didn't wait for the umpires to get involved. They went ahead and they just took that 360. So they're not too far behind the race.
Still light enough that, with the 126 going downwind, still light enough to keep the Hoyas a little bit nervous.
Yeah, especially, they don't have an ace, so they are in a 126, so still very vulnerable, specifically on the downwind.
And Tufts is right on the heel, that one boat. I think that's Will Hager.
Yep, already right on their tail. That third place Tufts boat is right on it.
I think we're starting to get some semifinals teams creeping in here, John.
Oh, nice.
Checking out the last day of team racing as they get ready for their event that starts tomorrow.
It's going to be pretty unreal tomorrow when 36 teams from all around the country converge here for 2 days of racing in the semifinals.
We thought it was summer camp during this event.
Yeah, it's going to be at another level, especially if there's some long wind delays with 36 teams here. We're looking at some wiffle ball games like we've never seen before.
Full team, 9 aside, baby.
9 aside. Maybe we'll just decide the regatta that way. Looks like it's getting interesting up there towards the front. I see Tufts and Green creeping up on Georgetown.
I think, the jumbo on our side, jibing right now, might have a piece of the one.
Or at least they're threatening. If you're Georgetown right now, you want to each pick up one of these Tufts boats, maybe separate them slightly, and then just balance them back as you're approaching the leeward mark. Too much tangling and intermixing of all those top 4 boats could be dangerous for Georgetown.
Hoya's positioned pretty well here, though. They got both pairs pretty even, and they're not that spread out laterally. We've had enough breeze that these boats have been sailing wing on wing for a good chunk of the run, and therefore not quite as spread out sideways.
And we're on the orange and green race. Tufts and green. Orange and green is what we're looking at, hopefully. Yale just soundly won the other race. That one's over, so with no reason to watch that one. Here we go, in the mark trap. Let's zoom in nice and tight to those front 4 boats. It's getting a little bit mixed up. Yeah. Tufts has a piece of somebody.
It's broken up.
It's broken up, okay. Yeah, Tufts has a piece, and they have a 2-3-6 now.
Yep.
Nice job, Tufts.
Looks like we got a call for umpire. I see hands flying, but I got a feeling we're going to see green flag. Yeah, green flag, no foul. Jumbo's broke it up, and they're looking to go all the way to 2-3-4. Doesn't look like the Hoyas can shut the door here.
Yeah,
you see Mac slow from the Jumbo's middle boat.
Yeah, they're parking it on that bottom reach, aren't they?
They're gonna break the mast. How much they're trimming that mainsail?
It's hard to do. These masts are pretty robust.
We make them firm.
Do you? thank you, Laser Performance, for providing this video coverage of the APS Team Race Nationals. It's just, the race is basically stopped on that Mark IV rounding. Tufts is just putting the brakes on. As they round this mark in green, that's when they want to convert this.
234. It could be. Right now, it's looking 235.
236, I think. Yeah. Everybody is very down speed, though. A full-on wall by Tufts. They have the double pin going. Now is when you have to have really good boat handling, though, because you're totally down speed. You got to get back up to speed without getting a penalty from the judges. I saw a slightly dangerous double rock there by Tufts, but I think they're okay.
So Tufts slightly vulnerable to the left here.
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
I think so.
their 6, though, has gotten free and clear through the back.
Georgetown, at the furthest lured Georgetown boat here is poking out.
Like a motor.
Yeah. Dangerous stuff.
So Tufts stacked to the right of them. But Georgetown looking to make a pass back through the left side of the course. Go 1-2.
It's a huge righty right now, too. I think they're fetching the windward mark on starboard.
Man.
So a good call by Georgetown to tack immediately out of that leeward mark with speed and motor out from leeward on Tufts.
We're back to that 1-2-6 that Georgetown started with the first rounding.
Yep, Tufts was able to mix it up around the bottom marks, but Georgetown back into their 1-2 after some just straight up boat speed. I think Tufts just got a little bit too down speed and stuck in a lull out of that leeward mark. It's a very dangerous spot to slow down. But they had a sense of urgency. They know that when you're 236, you can't sleep. You got to try to convert that immediately out of the mark.
Our next race is going to be Stanford Boston College. They're headed on the way out to the race course now. Stanford's going to be in red and Boston College is going to be in blue.
Yeah, it looks like they just rotated. They're on the way out. Probably another 2 or 3 minutes until they are in sequence.
Teams are rotating now on the outside of the wall at St. Mary's.
Tell you, it's all business today. People showed up with their war wagons, their vans full of coolers and burgees and tents, smelly gear, and they are now ready to show down. We saw some momentum shifts yesterday afternoon in favor of teams like Stanford and Georgetown.
Yeah, it was like those teams that were fighting for that final 8 early in the regatta have really come on now.
Yep.
They've been in high intensity situations for a good chunk of the regatta, and they're dealing with it really well. Georgetown here solidifying their rise to the top.
Yeah, this is a big win for Georgetown. This is a pretty big loss for Tufts, too. This might push Tufts out of contention for the Final Four. And that was a big win for Navy. We got to keep talking about Navy.
Yeah.
We keep forgetting that they're here.
Oh, I have no longer. They're at the forefront.
Okay, they're the peak of your mind.
Yeah, because Navy is just steady Eddie this whole regatta.
I like that. That's a good thing to be at a national championship. So there we have Georgetown in orange crossing the line with a 1-2. Tufts did manage to make it tight at the finish there, but not tight enough.
We got red and blue down near the start. Both teams warming up.
Stanford and BC.
Stanford's in red. This is their first race of the regatta, first race of the day. and looking sharp in their warm-ups.
Yeah, game on. This is another one with big Final Four implications. Right now, Stanford has a 14-6 record. They are tied for second. BC is one race back with a 13-7 record. So BC is currently in fifth on the outside looking in of the Final Four.
So Stanford made a change about halfway through the day yesterday. And I got to say there's a correlation to these wins and that change.
I think you're right.
They put in Kieran Chung and replaced Mateo Vargas, and the wins have been coming just a little bit easier since that change.
Yeah, I agree.
Has there been any other change? For a while, we thought they were doing full-on.
They did. They
line
rotated
changes,
through
but-
some other people. Antoine Scrieve was in there for a bit, but Kieran and his floppy hat was really catching our attention yesterday on the race.
Sure
race
was.
course.
Pretty dominant down at the pin, it seemed.
It's nice when somebody has a signature style, so you can spot them from a distance. Floppy hats are a great way to get attention.
So I'm going to be watching out for that here in this start. Red versus blue, Stanford in red. That's Boston College in blue.
Yeah, I think they're just about coming up to a minute 30 in the sequence. Becca was commenting yesterday from the water that the pre-starts are super scrappy. And this is the start of Flight 8, and for this this round, we only have Flight 8, Flight 9, and then Flight 10 is just a single race. So there's actually only 7 races left in this round. So I hope you're watching right now, because this is happening.
Yeah.
It's all happening, Nick.
What?
1 minute to go here on this start. Red versus blue.
Yeah. Looking like they're all already kind of on their final approach.
Comes a late hook, perhaps.
Oh man, the
Stanford in red. Looking strong at the pin. Looking strong at the boat. Boats were lined up pretty early on final approach. This was pretty early, this start. You can see they're having to recycle.
yeah, 2 boats are way below that pin lay line now.
Oh yeah, it's a
BC has a piece of that
little
boat.
mano-a-mano battle. That was,
Yeah, that was Will Bailey
yeah, and that was the floppy hat, Kieran.
taking on Kieran. Yeah, everybody else very low to the pin. Ooh, crossing. Stanford with the port tack start.
Just gonna go ahead and cross all you guys
Erica Reineke follows.
while being all over him. Great job. Was that Kevin Labe, I think?
Forces this, yeah, the cycle back. That one BC boat is
And they're calling it back.
deep 6.
They're calling it all back.
Oh, all right.
Tough luck for Stanford, I think. Maybe the big shift, big lefty there. PRO, Chris Gaffney, it wasn't good enough for him.
Yeah, I don't know if the breeze is like actually settled in yet today. I mean, we started with a southerly. It's a similar direction that we had yesterday afternoon, but yesterday was like a thermal. Oh, we got Becca calling in. Let's see what she has to say about that that start. Becca, how we doing?
We're good. We just had the BC Stanford start called back because the breeze was pretty far left. The Stanford boat at the pin tacked and was able to cross everyone quite easily. So I think we might have a little course movement at the moment. We have about 7 or 8 knots here. It's looking pretty nice. And between the 2 teams that are coming up, Stanford is looking pretty, I don't know, I'd say almost confident. They came out here, they were practicing as a team. A lot of the other teams out here are sort of floating around, especially BC, not looking so particular at the moment.
Ah,
So
okay.
we'll see if that happens, if that plays out in the next race when they get it going again.
Nice. All right. Thanks, Becca. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Bye.
Stanford with the bit in their mouth.
I like it. They got a taste yesterday.
I mean, are you surprised?
I know I'm happy for them, honestly. They had a tough start to the regatta, and it was looking like they might not even make the round of 8. I'm sure they were kind of nervous at that point.
I kind of got slapped early, but have totally woken up. They were
Smacked
one
in
of,
the face.
I'd say, probably, pre-regatta favorites for, at least for you and I.
Yeah, but, I feel like that's kind of their lot in life, pre-regatta favorites. It's not something you want to be like. That's not your legacy.
No.
No. You'd rather be, one of the top dogs, for sure. So I'm glad.
I think they're on their way there.
Yep. They have, immense amount of talent, a lot of seniors, but also a lot of underclassmen who are super talented. 15 sailors here. I think if you picked any 6 of them, you'd be pretty happy to field a team out there. Yeah, maybe you do that. Just pick them out of a hat each morning. You say, good luck today. Go get them. It would be a tough coaching situation, in my opinion. I think John Vandemore and Clinton have their hands full just figuring out who's who. Becca's calling us back. Let's see what's going on here. What up, Becca?
Quick update. We just got the word from Adam that we're moving the whole course up to Windward. So the Windward Marks will be the new starting area.
Okay, good to know. That's gonna be tricky for our camera situation, but we're gonna try to figure that out. Thanks for the update, Becca. That's a good heads up.
No problem.
See ya.
You think they'd take more consideration for us?
Where was our phone call?
Yeah, don't they run it by us?
Well, yeah, we can see the start area.
Certainly get the first
If
out.
we get the weed whacker out and cut down this tree.
No, it's too nice.
It's too nice. That wouldn't be cool.